Point goal by Felix Clemente. Michael Nuga at the line shooting 2. Foul called underneath. Darius Hughes. Darius Hughes. Foul called outside. Foul underneath. Royce Hamm at the line, shoots 2. And we have a held ball. Alt-name possessor awards the basketball to the Mavericks. Foul on the inbound pass. Fouls on Darius Hughes. Second personal. 6th team foul. Royce Hamm. Over and back violation. Foul underneath. Jordan McCabe. Justin Webster.
How loud can you get right now?
Offense. Offensive foul on Marco Smith. Will be his second personal. 8th team foul. Traveling violation. Royce Hamilton. Timeout. Nick Farini at the line. He's shooting 2. Three-point goal by Kyle Lutke. Royce Hamilton. Dylan Broham. Ferrarini at the line, 2 shots.
At halftime of a game against Colorado. He played 3 minutes in the second half. Entered the game thinking he wasn't going to play at all. All of a sudden, 20 minutes later, he was into the game. This was in Boulder. One of the crazier stories when that landmark ruling came down last year from the NCAA Division I Council. Marvin Coleman back into the game for the Rebels, along with Josh Baker. It's Hamm with the ball, spinning. Goes around 3 defenders, and all of a sudden, the Red Sea parted. He was wide open for the right-hand layup. The Rebels getting the offense working here towards the end of the half, up by 6. Ferrarini. Over to Lametti. Pop shot tray. That falls. A couple of words for the UNLV bench on the way out as well.
That was a good shot. Got to hand it to him. They defended him pretty well. Pump and go 3.
Webster looking for a response. Gets Ferrarini spun around. Now to Nuga. His 3-point shot no good. That one was a line drive as well. Rebels looked like they were going to go full court and then backed off. They're not doing a lot of full court press, Steve, when Keyshawn Gilbert's not on the court. The linchpin to that full court press. Luki driving. Back to Evans. 3-point shot over the hand of Hamm. Does go. I don't think Royce Hamm could have defended that field. I'm Matt Neverett, and Steve, a 6-0 run for Omaha over the last 55 seconds has us tied as we approach the end of half number 1.
Rebels usually dynamite with a drawn-up play coming out of a timeout.
Williams, the runner. That one doesn't go. Hamm rips it away from a pair of defenders. It's knocked out of bounds off the hands of Devin Evans. Possession stays with the Rebels.
That wasn't it. That's the kind of shot, Donovan Williams, floater from 13. Probably not what they wanted. It'll be interesting to see what they do here to close out the half from an attack standpoint. There's 3 of 18 from 3.
Baker drives, dishes. Williams will try a 3. It goes. Make it 4 of 19. Maybe that's the way to get it going.
Well, that was a good 3. I actually think 14 or 15 of the previous 3s were good attempts. They're just missing. So you don't want to be results-based in terms of analyzing what you're doing offensively.
Omaha tries a response with a 3 on their own end. It's Ferrarini ending up short. Rebels sending a line change out to the scores table. Williams tries another 3. The heat check doesn't fall. UNLV still on top by 3 with 5 Rebels awaiting to check into the game. One thing for sure, Kevin Kruger not afraid to experiment with the personnel on the floor. It's A-Rope missing.
Do you think he's doing the 5-man replacement because of defense that he saw or offense that he saw?
Just looking at the 5 that are coming onto the court, they are profiled more as defensive players across the board. So I would guess the former as opposed to the latter. In that situation, and a foul called, another turnover does bring that line change on. So it's Gilbert, McCabe, Webster, Hamilton, and Reese Brown. 5 for 5 on the substitution for Kevin Kruger. 2:53 to play here in half number 1. The penultimate non-conference matchup. San Diego State comes to the Thomas and Mack Center on January 1st to get Mountain West action started, to get the year 2022 started.
It's funny with the wholesale lineup change. I think there are people out there who are like, Kevin Kruger, first-time head coach, young guy, he's going to command respect. I mean, this is the way he does it.
Brown tried to get the hand out in front of Evans, but his 3-point shot goes. Evans now 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. He's got 6 points. Fouls, not much of an issue, especially for UNLV. They've committed just 3 defensively. They're in the bonus, so Omaha has committed 8.5. Hamilton turns on the
3-point play here.
Hamilton, the game's leading scorer with 14 points. Make it 15 after he drains his first free throw attempt of the night. Already over his average in his career of 13 points a game. He's averaging almost 18 points this season scoring. Luki picks up the dribble. 2 minutes to play here in half number 1. Ferrarini and Evans going back and forth. Lametti driving, looking for a pass. He finds Luki, and the foul called on Lametti. It was Keyshawn Gilbert, another spark plug play, just getting the feet down and wearing the charge.
I looked away for a second. I knew it was a charge. I look on the floor. It's Gilbert.
Guess who? He has been as gritty as they come all season, but especially tonight, doing all those little things well tonight. Definite impact player in some unique ways this evening. Rebels on top by 3. Webster grabs, drives, he's stopped. Gilbert over to Hamilton. Guarded by Arope, bit of a mismatch. Crosses him up, jump stop. Hamilton fires it up, just rolls out. That would have been a Sports Center top 10 highlight finish for Hamilton. Sort of making things happen on his own as he's done throughout his entire career. Arope's trade misses. Lametti able to swoop in and grab the rebound, and Gilbert hanging off of him gets called for the foul.
So at the offensive end, Bryce draws 4 defenders. The ball goes in and out. No one else is charging to the hoop to grab an offensive rebound.
And Royce Hamm, after that last possession, stood up and was visibly upset on the other end.
Defensive end, you got a 5'11" kid flying through the lane to get the rebound. An offensive rebound against 4 Rebels.
I think that's what Hamm was reacting to. He stood up on the bench, was waving his towel in frustration. And a foul called on Webster. So a little more contact here towards the end of the first half.
It was a cheapie, but at least he was bodying him. It was good defense.
No free baskets, especially in a tight game heading towards the end of the first half. Lametti the inbound. 1:12 left on the game clock. Ferrarini tries an NBA range 3-pointer and it falls. Ferrarini now with 7 points. That's his first make not from the free throw line. That's his first field goal of the game as we're under a minute to play here in the first half. It's Reese Brown handling the ball now with Hamilton. Trying to drive right. 3 defenders on him. Webster draws the eyes of a pair of defenders. 10 on the shot clock. Hamilton tries a 3. Off the front of the iron. No good. 11-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Lametti long pass to Arope. Omaha has to shoot before the end of the half. They're likely to hold. Evan pumps fakes. Drives past Brown. Line drive shot no good. It's Reese Brown with the rebound. Shot clock's off. 25 seconds to go in the half. Hamilton goes right over top of Ferrarini. A little too much on the lane and it misses. Now with under 20 to go. Omaha in a tied game at 35 all. Looking for the last shot here in the first half. It's Gilbert guarding Lametti. They're going to try to set something up. 5 seconds. Lametti goes to the left. Gilbert all up in his face. Back to Evans. Lametti working around the screen. He's got to fire up a desperation shot. It falls.
So you don't want to get caught in that, results-based thinking. Just because they're not making them doesn't mean they were bad shots. So we'll see if they continue to fire from 3.
UNLV in the first half from beyond the arc. 4 of 21. It's McCabe, Hamm, Webster, Hamilton, and Josh Baker, the starting 5, coming out of the locker room as Bryce Hamilton gets it going as he did early in the game. Would love to see some more of that. Just driving, finishing with the left, making it look easy. It's the Rebels back to within a point, 38-37. Omaha with the lead after the Felix Lametti circus 3-point buzzer beater shot to end the first half of action.
So watch for picks if the Rebels are coming underneath or going over the top on Lametti. Have to go over the top.
Staying in a man-on-man defense here early on. Evans trying to go around Hamilton and rebounded into the arms of Webster, although there was 3 Rebel defenders there. The rebounding already better here to start the second half. Webster passes up the open 3-point look, finds McCabe who pump fakes, goes right, now moves left, over to Baker in the corner. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Bryce. Driving. Stop, pop, shot, and it drops. Josh Baker putting on the brakes at the right time and going straight up for the lay, and he'll have a chance to complete the 3-point play with the Rebels back on top.
That was good recovery there. Spacing wasn't right. Ball gets swung to the right side of the floor. Baker and Bryce are all, basically on top of each other. Baker throws it out to Bryce. They move the ball, get the spacing correct.
Baker misses on the free throw. Did like what you saw there. Baker able to finish with the left on the lay-in. Couldn't quite complete the 3-point play, but the Rebels on top, 29-28. Buried in the corner. McCabe, good defense and a better pass to get out of that. It's Marco Smith into the game. Nick Ferrarini tries the drive. Webster sticks a shoulder into him, and he's called for his first foul. First foul of the half for UNLV goes against Webster. Transfer out of Hawaii. One of 9 transfers on this new look roster, like we've been mentioning the whole year. But this is why you play these games, these non-conference games, late in the calendar year to find the rotations heading into conference play. 7 to go on the shot clock as Hughes jumps and just kind of fires it off the glass. Able to get it to drop in Omaha in a back-and-forth game back on top. McCabe spins and finds Josh Baker. Hamilton, one-on-one with Hughes. Drives, looking for a pass. Goes for the shot. No fouls off the front of the rim. Hamm able to pull down the board. Under 18 to go here in half number 2. It's been a back-and-forth game. McCabe fakes outwards as well. He's fouled on the way up by Smith. We'll see Jordan McCabe at the line for 2.
Bit of a bailout there.
I'll actually give the foul to Ferrarini.
Jordan McCabe driving into pressure. I'd love to see the Rebels be a little more patient in letting Royce Hamm establish position. There's really no one on this Omaha roster who, from a strength standpoint, can defend him. They're not trying to double him.
First shot for McCabe.
I was going to say, the first time you look to make the entry pass, if it's not there, swing it, let Royce try to reestablish. I do think they need to balance that out if they can get Royce some good passes inside.
A dead pair for Jordan McCabe gives the lead back to the Rebels at 41-40. Each team has led 4 separate times. 8 different lead changes already. Smith to Lametti at the top of the key. Finds the open man, gets it back at the top. Lametti, the Swede, takes the screen, drives right. He's double teamed. Evans, he'll try a three-pointer. Just not enough on it, and Hamm emphatically yanks down the board. Baker on the other end, gets it to Hamm at the top of the key. Drives, picks up the dribble, resets it back to the top and sets the screen. Baker to Webster. McCabe resets back up to the top. A runner for Webster goes at the baseline. Degree of difficulty jacked way up on the shot from the 6'3" junior.
So again, watch how they're defending picks up top.
Looking like they're wanting to get underneath it.
Well, McCabe went under that time, but there was also a double on the last pick situation.
Ferrarini fires it over the outstretched hands of Josh Baker. Couldn't guard that one any closer. Just a better shot from Ferrarini, who's now on Webster in the corner. It's Baker up top. Baker's got 2 defenders on him. Webster with Ferrarini in his face will drive. 15 on the shot clock. It's Baker dribbling behind the back. Hamilton's catch and shoot 3. No good. Hamm tips it back to the teammate. A fresh shot clock for the Rebels. Hamilton trying the drive, and Hughes, a 230-pound forward, able to get in his way. He's called for the foul.
So what I was explaining on the other end of the floor, the Rebels are making a decision. If it's Lametti, they're going to double with a big, and they're going to risk the pick and pop. Evans had a 3. He didn't hit it. I don't know that they have, a true big who can come off the pick and pop and hit a 3. So you're going to see a lot more aggressive over top of the pick and also doubling.
We've seen a couple of attempts from Evans, who's guarding Hamilton here, and it's called for. It's a name you recognize. It's because his brother Agwek plays at San Diego State. Agwek A-Rope. Hamilton with a nice dribble fake. Out to Baker. Trey in front of his own bench falls. Biggest lead for the Rebels here in the second half as they're on top by 4. Long 3 from Lametti. And they got to get out there further as Baker was in his face. Lametti just comfortable and in rhythm on the three-pointer. Back to within 1. Hamm fights through the contact. He's fouled. A chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. We're at our under 16 media timeout.
And that last 3 that Lametti made, Baker was right there. He's just a guy who, on the year, Lametti's shooting 35%, which is pretty solid from 3. But you got to look at the latest sample. His last 5 games, he's 11 of 22. I mean, he is on fire tonight. 5 of 7 from 3.
And those are his only shot attempts. He's 5 of 7 from the field, all from beyond the arc. So he's been shooting his team back into it. Lametti with 15 points on those 5 three-point makes. UNLV's just been able to scratch and claw their way back to a lead on top by 4.
Well, this is interesting.
Late in the shot clock, grabbing and spinning is Broham, able to bring him back within a possession. Long pass to Devin Williams. He catches it with his feet on the baseline, so it'll be a turnover. That's not what you want.
They got a make on that down low. Rebels actually switched to a 2-3, which Kevin Kruger wants to play from time to time. He hasn't been pleased with the results. Very bold move against a team that's shooting the 3-ball well. And Jordan McCabe can make some unbelievable passes. That outlet pass was a little bit too aggressive because Williams really wasn't even open.
Back to what you said about this screen. What do they say is the one way to beat the 2-3 zone defense? Just that. The three-point shot as Kyle Lutke makes it rain. Back-to-back three-pointers, and all of a sudden another lead for Omaha, their 5th of the contest. Hamilton, wide open, top of the key, you bet. Rice able to steal some of the momentum back and grab the lead back for the Rebels once again. Would not be surprised if we see a back-and-forth affair like this the rest of the way out, Steve. Lutke driving around Nuga. Trying a low pass, A-Rope's blocked. Right place, right time for Broham as he's able to finish it, and we're tied at 52. Keyshawn Gilbert awaiting to check in. Hamilton trying to work around the screen. Instead, he resets to Nuga. Nuga to McCabe, over to Williams in the corner. Donovan gets into the paint, throws it up over the outstretched hand of A-Rope. It's knocked out of bounds. And almost on command, Steve. Gilbert into the game, back to the full court press, especially on Felix Lametti. Gilbert trying to neutralize the shooting threat that has been Felix Lametti today. Again, 5 of 7 from beyond the arc for the point guard. 23 points. We'll go along with 5 rebounds. McCabe sticks the hands up, but is called for the long-time head basketball coach at Creighton Prep in Omaha. This is a roster, Steve, for Darren Henson, the head coach, that's been marred by injury throughout the year. A couple of players that we thought would make an impact, not even here, including Isaiah Poor Bear Chandler, a 6'7", 250-pound senior forward who has been an impact player for them early on. So they're doing it shorthanded as far as keeping up with the Rebels tonight. And they return to the Thomas and Mack Center. 53-52 Omaha on top. McCabe up to Gilbert, fakes left, goes right, loses the dribble. It's Lametti to grab it. Guarded by McCabe, he'll slow down and reset it. Lutke, NBA range 3, not enough on the shot. Here comes Williams the other way with some speed. He's turned over as Lutke grabs it. It's A-Rope now. A-Rope has it fall in and out of his hands. Nuga fouls him on the way up, and a chance to complete another three-point play for A-Rope. Not the defensive sequence you want if you're Kevin Kruger standing there on the sideline.
Yeah, 1-on-2 offense, trying to split 2 men by Donovan Williams, just a little too aggressive. And then you get a mismatch at the other end where A-Rope is just too big and strong for Mike Nuga.
And it's a change of pace and really in theory from where they were early on in the first half when they jumped out to that 25-14 lead as A-Rope misses the shot, where they were taking it down to the ends of possessions, driving and dishing, finding open threes. It was just that the threes weren't going. Seems like they've gone away from it because of that.
Yeah, so much of the offensive tone is set by what the Rebels do on defense, and the Rebels just have not been able to string together multiple stops. A long time.
Hamm fouled on the floor. 9 seconds to go on the shot clock. They're going to get Lutke on the foul. So the first of the game for the forward is Hamilton and Baker check in. It'll be Nuga to the bench.
You kind of feel it, right? Like something needs to get energized, and it's on both ends.
The issue is, you look at a full season's worth of work. You can't just substitute a player in whenever you want something to change. It has to come a lot more from guys on the floor than we've seen. Just under 13 to play here in the game as Gilbert commits an offensive foul. Lutke committed a foul on his own and then was fouled immediately after.
Keyshawn drew a charge, little Emmy Award in the first half, and I think he got it back there because Lutke threw himself backwards like he had been hit by Zion Williamson.
Gilbert checks out. It's Webster into the game as UNLV back into the full court press. It's Fiddler, the freshman, bringing it up the court. Again, the only true freshman on the roster. UNLV with just the one true freshman as well. It's Keyshawn Gilbert. Double team at the top of the key. Lametti looking for an outlet, and he calls the timeout. That's a good way to start if you're UNLV defensively. They're being out-rebounded, a 5-0 run for Omaha with a lot of those points coming into paint over the last 2 minutes.
And Rebels came out on fire, opened the half 11-4, but since then they've given it all back. Got to string a couple of stops here.
Haven't scored in 2.5 minutes have the Rebels. Lametti tries a baseline drive. Baker and Hamm getting in the face. Eventually it's reset to Broham and out to Fiddler, guarded by McCabe. Shot clock winding down. Broham's three-point shot misses. Webster able to grab the board. One other note, Steve, just looking at it during the break, 15-5 bench points advantage for Omaha. The Rebels have run a deep rotation out there, but with not a lot of scoring from players not in the starting lineup, including Donovan Williams and Mike Nuga. Hamm able to two-hand slam it after the excellent vision from Bryce Hamilton. He's not just a scorer.
Yep. Bryce draws two defenders. Pump, stop, jump, deliver the pass.
Lametti, there's the heat check. He's on fire. 6 3-point make of the night from Lametti. He's got 28 points to lead all scorers. He is shooting Omaha to the lead single-handedly. Biggest lead of the game for the Mavericks, 58-54. Just under 11:30 to play. Hamilton tries a response. Can't get it to fall. It was the second bounce off the rim, and Fiddler called for the foul underneath. He can't believe it.
The lapse in concentration can't happen down the stretch.
6 of 8 for 18 points. Felix Lametti with all of his makes from beyond the arc. There's Royce Hamm Jr. able to plop in his fourth, make it his fifth free throw make of the night. Second one bounces out. He's just over a 60% free throw shooter. One definite area of improvement. Rebels coming into tonight shooting just 71% as a team. Like to see some improvement across the board. Who else but Felix Lametti with the ball, guarded by McCabe, who, as you mentioned, Steve, comes over the screen, in and out of the hands of Lukey. Hamm can't get a hand on it, and the errant shot from Lukey is grabbed by Royce, who's into the game for Webster. There's the 8th team foul of the half for Omaha, so UNLV in the bonus, and that's going to be huge. These free throws are going to be the difference for UNLV down the stretch, with the offense going through some scoreless stretches, as we've seen here now in both halves. Hamm, a clutch pair of free throws made, brings UNLV back to within one. 58-57. Omaha leads, watching as the running Rebels coming out in a full court press. Kind of just the sum of all the pieces that have worked. You got to try to mash them together here at the end of the game. The full court press defensively being one of them. Lametti into the corner. It's Aro out to Fiddler. Freshman's three-point shot, a bit too much mustard on it. Able to grab the rebound is Evans. Fiddler driving. Right-hand lay-in goes. Stands the Maverick lead back to 3. McCabe going to try to slow things up. So he works to the left, hands to Baker. Bryce. Motion offense at the top, sets it up with McCabe. Makes the 3. It's Hamilton on the baseline. Near side, he'll try the drive. Instead, picks it up. At a half a spin up to Nuga. 10 seconds on the shot clock. McCabe gets the defender off of his feet. It'll be the double bonus for UNLV, who have committed just 4 fouls of their own. Just 9 fouls total for UNLV as they played a clean defensive game. McCabe can't get the free throw to drop.
Which is becoming an issue. They're now, for the game unofficially, 11 of 18.
Crowd here at Thomas and Mack thought Fiddler should have been called for the travel. They're double teaming Lametti now. They're really trapping him on the elbows. And a good job by Hamm of getting in front of the bodies. There was nobody behind him. I would say that's a situation where he knew he didn't have much help on the drop. Kind of just throw the hip into the player. Hope he either knock the ball away or, in this case, get called for the foul. Not the worst infraction. It's the 5th foul of the half. It's the 2nd of the game against Hamm, as Brown will come in and give Royce Hamm a seat on the bench.
Donovan Williams back in. You want him to score, but more importantly, put together some good defense here.
Donovan Williams scored 30 points in the win against Hartford, just 3 tonight. Ferrarini hasn't had much of an impact here in the second half. He's got the ball on the far side. It's off the foot of Brown. Into the game and into the score sheet. A bounce pass for Williams. His two-hand slam. If nothing else, Donovan Williams is always going to get the crowd into the game, as he showed there. A two-hand jam, and this is about as loud as this Thomas and Mack Center crowd has been here in the second half.
And this is the time to dial up, trapping, aggression on defense. Lemaity's out. No one else for Omaha is as good a ball handler.
Ferrarini tries to drive around Nuga. Picks up the dribble, looking for a pass. 5 to go on the shot clock. It's Evans. Fadeaway shot from the baseline with a pair of defenders in his face. And the crowd into it on the defensive stop. 9 to play. McCabe hands to Hamilton. Spins down the baseline. He goes up. His shot swatted, but he's fouled by Arope on the way up.
You see how everything changed. Players, Omaha doesn't have that. And you wonder if, we'll see what Lemaity's like when he's back in there. Are they going to gas out at some point, Omaha? I'm sure Rebel fans watching right now are like, yes, please. But that's why you rotate a lot of players. That's the value of having 10 or 11 guys so you can play. And frankly, Nuga and Donovan Williams should be pretty fresh because they haven't played the minutes that we probably expected them to play tonight.
Hamilton drains both ends of the free throw trip as Darius Hughes checks back into the game for Omaha. Sprinting up on the other side is Marco Smith. Arope able to corral that pass in. It's Darius Hughes guarded by Brown. He'll try a mid-range shot. Nothing but air.
Right?
Missed short.
Speed up on defense, and they're taking bad shots.
See what Jordan McCabe's got cooking. It's Nuga. He'll drive. Baseline pass. Left-hand release for Hamilton. His line drive three-pointer doesn't go. That would have been a big shot for the momentum. Rebels on top by 1. It would have been the loudest that we had heard this crowd tonight. Nuga on a mismatch here, guarding Fiddler. Back up top to Ferrarini. His long three-point shot is off the front of the iron and ripped down by Bryce Hamilton. He'll take it coast to coast himself with 8:10 to play. Another baseline pass. McCabe to Nuga. Miss to the left. Williams over to McCabe. Doesn't pass this time. His three-point shot misses. Another rebound by Donovan Williams. He'll try the tray in front of his own bench. Another miss. Back up top, it's Nuga. Over to Arope, and it's
now. Everyone's got to raise their level on the Runner Rebel side, on both ends of the floor, but especially defensively.
Omaha did not score when Lemaity was off the court, scoreless in just about 3 minutes of play, as we're at 7:40 to go here in the contest. On the far side, Williams tries to drive the baseline. It's up to McCabe. Now Nuga, the Kent State transfer, goes up, rolls it around, gets it to drop. He'll get the free throw attempt. He's dapping up his buddies on the bench. Mike Nuga's got the Runner Rebels feeling good and back out to a 3-point lead.
Watching the replay, why was that open there for a blow-by to the left? Because of multiple passes, because they made the defense move back and forth, and then Nuga take advantage of it. And he, as I said, Mike is a little more right-hand dominant in terms of getting to the right side of the rim. That time, he's able to finish. He even got tied up a little bit and now completes a three-point play.
Rolls that one around every inch of the iron before it falls in. UNLV back on top by 4. It's their biggest lead of the second half.
The Lemaity trap again, way out. Has to give up the ball.
They're going to make Lemaity pass down low as McCabe hacks at him on the drive. And that'll be the third foul for Jordan McCabe. Hughes checks out. Broham checks in for Omaha. And it's Josh Baker off the bench for the Running Rebels. One thing to note, just looking at the stat sheet, Steve, a plus 14 for Baker. The top in the plus-minus category of all Rebels so far tonight. McCabe takes a seat. 7:12 to go. It's Reese Brown, Donovan Williams, Baker, Hamilton, and Nuga, the 5 on the floor for Kevin Kruger. Lemaity at the top, guarded by Baker. He's been good on the perimeter tonight. It's Ferrarini to Lukey. Over to Lemaity. They're going to trap with Brown at the top of the key. To the floor, and a travel called. Lemaity was rolling around on the ground, and a travel called right in front of us.
And that was made possible by the second part of the trap with Reese Brown.
Great effort.
Really good athlete at 6'8", and then Nuga was able to come as a trail guy and poke it out, and then frustration move there by Lemaity.
Reese Brown's one of those guys that Kevin Kruger will always bring up in the press conferences, whether it's the hustle, the defense. He didn't play a ton last year and has played in just 8 games this year, but when he's gotten on the floor, a lot to like for Reese Brown out of Albany, New York. Lots to like for Bryce Hamilton here as he dribble drive, finds Williams, hesitation on the drive, and an offensive foul called as he hammers Nick Ferrarini, who got the feet set. Crowd doesn't think so. It
was light contact.
Tell you what, regardless of the opinion, it is nice to have good amount of fans back at the Thomas & Mack Center. We saw the attendance grow by the game at the Michelob Ultra Arena in the last couple.
From game 1 to game 2 at the Mandalay Bay, the crowd got much bigger and much louder, and it makes a difference, folks.
Arope driving on Hamilton. Picks up the dribble, and it's up to Ferrarini. He'll go right, stuffed at the baseline by Donovan Williams. Williams goes up. Ferrarini got him off his feet. Foul on the way back down. Ion down the back stretch. It's Ferrarini. Remains perfect from the free throw line. Now 5 of 5.
And Donovan's been fighting, some soreness. I'm not a doctor, but I've seen him iced up after the game, right knee, left knee. And keep in mind, Donovan Williams, this is one of the first games where he hasn't been stuck in a mismatch for much of the game defensively against the big. He's had to work hard this year.
Ferrarini now 6 of 6 from the line. UNLV leads by 2. Hamilton sticks a shoulder into Arope, and it's another offensive charge called against the Rebels in back-to-back possessions.
I mean, look at how big. The block charge thing drives me nuts, and I'm usually not one to go crazy over officiating, but look at the size of Arope and Bryce. Does Bryce have that much power?
It wasn't
to throw himself backwards? Come on.
It wasn't like he was on a full sprint either. Here's the trap at the top for Lametti. Tries to get the outlet pass down to Luedtke, and he does, guarded by Baker. Swatted on the baseline. Great job by Josh Baker. I believe they're going to call Luedtke on the foul underneath the basket as well. No foul. It was just the official having a word with Luedtke.
That was 2 Rebels fouling each other.
They called the foul and said, hey, hold on a minute. So we now know you're allowed to foul your own team as much as you want. It'll be McCabe with just under 6 to play, bringing it up. Rebels leading by 1 possession. A 2-point lead as Williams slips, picks himself up on the crossover. Baker gets around a man, finds Williams, fakes the pass left, drives to the right, goes around contact. The long arms of Donovan Williams coming in handy on the lay-in.
How bouncy is he? It's like a perfect word. He's just springing off the floor.
Hamm called on the reach-in to second. A great combination for a high flyer like Williams, who also has some nice touch from the field. Lametti with nice touch from the free throw line. Cuts the lead down to 3 points. One thing to note, Broham with 4 fouls for the Mavericks. Lametti with a dead pair from the stripe. In fact, 4 Mavericks with 4 fouls. Hughes, Evans, and Broham, so something to keep an eye on. Hamm and McCabe with 3. The only Rebels with more than 2. Hamilton drives around 3 defenders. He was looking for the foul on the layup. He didn't get it as he falls to the hardwood. Lametti trapped, finds the pass to Arope, and
wow.
Did he step out of bounds?
So no foul.
Yeah, that was just a weird, an interesting call. And all of a sudden, Steve, after I mentioned that UNLV had played a clean defensive game, now both teams in the double bonus. This back half of the second half is going to be a lot of free throws, and I mentioned it earlier, didn't know it was going to come into play this early. The free throws are going to decide this game one way or the other.
And again, I don't harp on officiating much. The biggest thing you want from the crew is consistency, and we just saw in back-to-back plays a lot of contact, lesser contact. Consistency with the calls, not there.
Arope misses the second free throw. Rebels cling on to the 1-point lead with 5 to play. It's going to be an exciting ending, to be sure. McCabe gets the open shot, fires the 3. It falls, the crowd into it. UNLV back on top by 4. McCabe now on the defensive end, watches with Luedtke at the top. Luedtke to Ferrarini. Williams mismatched defensively. He'll switch on to Luedtke. Goes on top of the screen. Luedtke drives left. Williams able to get the hand in the way. Here's McCabe slowing things up. Long pass to Baker. Grabs, drives. He's fouled by Broham on the baseline. We'll see Josh Baker to the charity stripe for a pair.
Really smart by Baker. The closeout was way too aggressive. He saw the opportunity to get baseline, draw the foul.
How about the 3-pointer for McCabe? That's one of those ones where you, in your own mind, can almost line it up for too long.
Right. Ooh, I am open. Let me think about this for a second.
That's the 5th foul for Broham, so he's fouled out of the game. With Broham out, Hughes and Evans both with 4 fouls. So everybody but A-Rope in the front court for Omaha with 4 fouls. So it's going to be something to keep an eye on. Maybe the Rebels try the drive, just throw a body into one of these guys. Get the size advantage that way. So Ludke into the game as Broham is fouled out. Finishes the night with 6 points on 3 of 4 shooting, a rebound and an assist in 17 minutes. Webster goes 2 for 2, and UNLV back into the full court press. Williams, Baker, Hamm, Hamilton, and McCabe on the floor for the UNLV Rebels, trying to draw way up. Ferrarini a perfect 6 for 6 from beyond the arc. 4:18 to play. UNLV on top by 6.
Announcer jinx.
First miss. Hey, that's
never kiss of death.
Hey, that's the one that you want if you're playing here with the Thomas and Mack. So Ferrarini now 6 of 7 on the night. He follows it up with the make. Ferrarini over 82% from the free throw line coming into the night on the season. UNLV up by 5. They're going to try and slow these possessions down, minimize the number of total possessions in the last 4 minutes of the contest here. Williams, three-pointer in front of his own bench. You betcha. The lead expanded to 8. It's the biggest lead of the second half for UNLV. And they're trapping Lametti at the top, so starting to kind of figure out their kryptonites from the first half. As Ferrarini misses, he's upset with himself. Here comes Bryce the other way. Spins, goes over 2 defenders. Offensive foul, they'll call the charge. The field, and Steve, the defense is picked up as well late. They found ways to neutralize Felix Lametti, and Nick Ferrarini isn't nearly as venomous as he was in the first half. The crowd into it here on a Wednesday night, just east of the Las Vegas Strip. Williams on Ferrarini. NBA range 3 is swatted right back into the hands of the point guard with 10 seconds to go. It's Lametti. He'll look for one shot with 5 to go. He tries his own NBA range 3. That doesn't drop. Royce Hamm rips the rebound away from Arrow.
Great rebound by Royce. And now you're starting to see the size and energy coming into place here. The Rebels were basically in an even rebound battle, but they've done a hell of a job on the boards.
Nugent drives all the way through the paint, hands it off in front of his own bench, working it around to McCabe. 10 to go on the shot clock. McCabe to Williams. Puts it on the floor. Drives right. Gets into the paint. Turned into an easy finish. He nearly slammed that with 2 hands. We were just talking about that.
Well, it was easy because he made the 3, so now they're closing out strong on his 3 ball. So that was an easy pump and go for basically a layup. And again, he can cover so much ground in about 2 steps.
Arrow slams it home over Hamm. Anomalies that occur when a Division I team takes on a Division II Summit League team like Omaha. In the Summit League, the North Dakota State Bison came to the Thomas and Mack Center earlier this year. Rebels defeated them by 2, so it's been a couple of close games against Summit League foes. And a foul called on McCabe, and be keeping an eye on the fouls on the backstretch here with Hughes and Evans both in the game with 4. So it'll be Jordan McCabe to the free throw line. 2:14 to play. Rebels on top by 8. So far on the night, McCabe with 7 points, make it 8 as he drops his 3rd free throw and 4 tries on the evening. He's playing more minutes than anybody on this Rebels roster. Two for 2, a perfect trip for Jordan, and Rebels back on top by 10, matching their biggest lead of the second half after they entered halftime trailing. 38-35 at the half. Ludke, top of the key, a mess in front of him defensively. Rebels going with a nice zone and filling it in, stepping in front of the passing lanes as well as Ferrarini picks it up, fires it over the head of Jordan McCabe. It goes off the iron and
really amped it up with the double teams off the screens.
Yeah, they are not going to let Felix Lametti beat them.